I would imagine that the number one biggest fear that people have in the world is the fear of dying. That's at least something that I am perpetually aware of, which is my mortality. But it turns out that glossophobia is the number one biggest fear in the world, not the fear of death. And if you haven't encountered this word before, glossophobia is the fear of public speaking. Hi, my name is Rahul Kole. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a storyteller, TEDx speaker, and a show host. Do consider subscribing to my channel and liking this video because that really helps me out. The algorithm finds out that you're enjoying this video and it'll push this video to other people who might potentially enjoy it. As absurd and odd as it sounds, it is true. 75% of the world, 3 out of 4 people in the world, are afraid of going up on a stage and talking to an audience. If you're priding yourself and patting yourself on the back saying that I'm not afraid of speaking on stage, then you are in the minority. You are in the 25% who is not afraid. But this is not status quo. So why is it that even though people are afraid of speaking on stage, they don't do anything to overcome that fear? Because it's just not something that they need to worry about often enough. Public speaking is a low frequency activity for most people. It doesn't happen every single day. On an average, it happens 4 times a year for most people in the world. Instead, something that we should be focusing our energy and attention more on is being persuasive in day-to-day conversations. Public speaking may be a once-in-a-blue-moon activity for most of us, but conversations at work happen every single day. We have thousands of interactions every year. We mistakenly view each of these conversations and interactions as just a meeting, just a call, just an email. Each one of these conversations can be an opportunity. Subconsciously, all of us are prone to judging the people we talk to, and you are also being judged. You are judged every single day by your peers and co-workers about the clarity of your thinking and the quality of your communication. If you're good at both of these things, people view you with respect. There's a lot less room for bullshit in day-to-day conversations. It's easy for anyone to be their best selves for 10 minutes or for 15 minutes on stage, but it is incredibly difficult to bullshit your way every single day for months or for years. There's no room to hide, especially if you're on a high-performing team where everybody communicates effectively and thinks clearly. Spoiler alert, your team does not care about how good you are on your best day. Your team only cares about how you are on your average day. There's a quote that I read which is, be consistently good, not sporadically great. You don't have to be mind-blowing every single day. You just have to be good. And most people are not even that because we just underestimate the value of our day-to-day conversations. In this video, I also want to share the 3 tactics or methods that have helped me become a more persuasive communicator at work. The first one is to communicate and contribute in team meetings. Now, team meetings can be that boring, life-sucking, dreary activity that we just have to participate in and we don't have any option. It doesn't have to be that anymore. It can be that event where you can actively contribute and make it a breeding ground for opportunities. Speaking up in meetings can be a great way to display your clarity in thinking to many people at once. But I get it. It doesn't come easily to a lot of us, and especially if you're an introvert, this can seem like a very challenging task. An easy alternative if you're an introvert is to use the chat. The chat is your friend. If you don't like to interrupt somebody else and speak up, use your chat. That way you're still getting your ideas out. And most people will see that chat and invite you to jump in, and that just makes life easier instead of raising your hand and volunteering to speak up. A second way to practice speaking up is to get an accountability buddy. I am an accountability buddy to other people. What I do in meetings is, if my friends are not speaking up, if I see that my friends are not contributing, I just gently nudge them and say, hey, why don't you chime in? This is a topic of your interest, or this is a project that you're working on. I think you should say something. And that nudge usually helps them get out of that initial inertia. Finally, the last thing you need to make sure of when you're practicing speaking up is to avoid what I call backstory creep. When you're giving that jaw-dropping speech, you try your best not to ramble. You try to keep yourself contained and keep your set very tight. Why then do we let ourselves ramble in day-to-day conversations? After the conversation is over and we think back to it, we say, man, I went off on a tangent there. Nobody stopped me. And this is the reality of most of our meetings. If it's a 30-minute call, after the call is over, in hindsight, we end up thinking, 20 of those minutes were just us rambling. These are my 3 high value suggestions that have really helped me out, that have changed my game when it comes to communicating at work. If you're doing most of these things, then you're already in the top 10%. But if not, you can use this as a nudge to start practicing some of these things at work. Be more vocal at work. It's okay if public speaking is not your forte, but there is no excuse for not being persuasive in everyday conversations. And I wish you the best in this growth journey of yours at work. If you're somebody who also struggles with making small talk at work, I've made a video on 4 great ways to make small talk at the workplace, and I'm going to link it at the end of this video. Make sure to check it out.